Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day today. And I have a little Valentine's card for you here today. So what we're going to do is create this really cool card, which is entirely, well, not entirely, but has this great see-through feature. So you can see I kept the front of it fairly simple because the main feature is that it's see-through, but you can open up the card inside and in the back. So it's all the way see-through all the way through. So this is what we're gonna create today. And if you do it in a certain way, you can actually get a twofer, which, you all know I love a twofer because the part that comes out of the center can still be used and put together to have something else. So these are Valentine cards here, which are really adorable. So this particular set was done using this double heart set of dies. So in order to create this kind of card, you don't need a lot of tools or anything like that. You need a die cut machine, but what you do need is you need a die with a shadow, okay? Because you need to be able to have something that is going to cut out the center and then something to put in it as well so that you can see through it, okay? So this is the example of what I made, but today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this die here, which I believe this is from Simon Says Stamp, and it says, "I think I'll keep you." And there's a little heart there. I mean, I know it's difficult to see right now, but this is, let me see if I can pull that apart here. So I've already done some die cutting, so you guys aren't going to have to wait a ton of time while I do that. But yeah, it says, "I think I'll keep you," which I think is just so cute. So I'm fairly certain this is a Kathy Zilski die by Simon Says Stamp. And yeah, it's really cute. So you can see here it has the shadow layer and then the words. So the previous one that I had done had like cut out the hearts, and then it had an inner part of the heart. And that was what I used on that one. And in fact, I will tell you, I got that particular die in order to do this particular technique because I had seen Jennifer McGuire do something similar. So you can do this with nesting dies if you want. Like you would just have, let's say you were doing stars or hearts. You could do one size of a heart as your exterior. It's fairly similar to making a shaker card, but you're going all the way through. But you could do the exterior heart, which is what would be this outer border here, okay, that kind of thing. Leave a layer, and then you could go with your interior heart. So you could do that, or square, or circle, or star, or balloon, or whatever. Could do that, or have it solid on the inside as well. You could do that and just have it be see through around the edges. Either or. But anyway, we're get on with this today. Okay, so as I said, in order to save some time, so you guys don't have to watch me cut these out, I've already done the die cutting of the sentiment part. So now I'm just going to show you how to do it with uh, the shadow part. Okay, so I am going to take my 8.5 by 11. Sorry, that's not quite true. It's not an 8.5 by 11. This is a standard A2 size, which means it's 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the shadow die and I am going to center it to the best of my ability on my card front. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's, again, we're not Hallmark. If you want to get out your ruler and measure and whatever, you go ahead. You do you. I'm not going to be that picky. I'm just going to do it around halfway here and kind of call that good. All right, so I'm going to use my Gemini Juniors because it's quiet enough that you guys, hopefully it'll be able to do this. So I'm just going to die cut this out, and I actually am going to keep, this is important here, I'm going to keep my card base closed. Like normally you would run it through if you were going to cut something out of the front so that it only cut through the front layer. But I want it to cut through or at least make an impression through both layers so that I can line that up perfectly. Another thing, because I'm using my actual card, I want to keep the back of it nice and neat. So I'm using a clean cutting mat. If you don't have a clean cutting mat, like if yours looks like, I pulled out my new one for this. If yours looks like this, it's got multiple cuts and everything like that in it. If you're cutting into white cardstock, it's going to mark it up. So what I would recommend is putting another piece of paper, like a clean sheet of paper, in between your die, your paper, and your cutting mat. Okay, so because I use the magic mat, I'm going to I have to use the extra thing, cutting plate. That's the sandwich that I need to use. And I'm just going to run it through my Gemini Junior here. Okay. Now you can see, so you can see it didn't cut all the way through, but that's okay. What I'm freezing again. So I'm just going to keep talking until my fingers get into position here. And so you can see it didn't cut all the way through, but that's okay because it did leave an impression. So it's going to tell me where to put my die again. Okay, so I can go through and I'm going to peel off this front part like that. Put my little pieces of tape here to the side. And then go. Whoop. And this is just, I'm just using mint tape from scrapbook.com just because it's an easy release tape. So I'm going to keep this because I could pop up and get my second impression or my second card. That's how I did the first one. Okay, so you can see here I've cut through the front layer, which is great, but I'm going to turn this over. Sorry, I'm not going to turn it over. I'm going to open this up and you can see here where the cut lines are. So now I'm just going to fit the die back into those grooves of exactly where it was. And I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't move on me because that's frustrating. All right, now I'm going to turn this back over this way. And I'm going to send it back through. Very simple. I'm not going to show you how to die cut because a lot of you know how to die cut already. There's lots of other videos out there on how to die cut, things like that. Plus, it also depends on what kind of machine you have. So you don't need me to be showing you that. Okay. And number 2, we have cut through the back side of the card. I'm just going to try and save some tape here. Okay, I'm going to pop that out. There we go. And okay, 2 of those done. All right. So now you can see here, I have my front and my back, and these are all perfectly aligned. All right. So now, because I want to have a colorful front, so basically what I've done here is I've already cut this out because I wanted to get that all finished and whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this inside. So, and this is a watercolor piece of paper that I had done using, what was it that I used on this? I think this was my Distress mica mineral spray. So you probably saw me creating this. So, but it has just this absolutely gorgeous color. So I'm taping this in behind here pretty evenly. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want it to be somewhat aligned because this is going to be exactly how I cut this out is where it's going to end up. So you can see there. Okay, so now I've got my outline. So I'm going to put this just like that. And I'm going to grab another piece of, oh, nope, I have one here. I'm going to grab another piece of mint tape just like that. And I'm going to grab another one here. Nope, I have another one there. You need to, oh, okay. It shifted just a little bit. That eye is not going to be where I want it to be. So let's, oh shit, what? Okay. And I'm starting again. Here we go. All right. Okay. So I want to align this because this is actually going to be the front of my card. So I want to have a nice border is essentially what I'm trying to create here. I want it to be a decent sized border around the edge of my card and the front. So I'm going to do that. And then I want it to hold it in place. So I'm just going to kind of fold it over the front of the card here. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's much better. So you can see where the border is there. Okay, I'm going to pop that in, back into place. And now I'm just going to tape that down like so. Okay, and I'm going to up this way. Now I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine again. This is a multi-step process of running through the die cut, through the machine, through the machine, through the machine. And I have to admit that I'm very happy that I have an electronic machine, which is very handy. I'm not even gonna lie, really like it. I use my die cuts now so much more than I did previously. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out now, and I'm gonna peel off all the tape very gently, but it is a very, very low tack tape, so it's highly unlikely that you're gonna get a lot of ripping. But if you pull it back on itself like that, hold it to like a 90-degree angle, you shouldn't get any ripping. It's very, very low tack. In fact, the tape will come apart before the onto your paper. There we go. And I'm just gonna pull that off there. Oh, I'd have to get some. There we go. Okay. So now if I pop this out, pull the tape, rest of the tape off. Now I'm just going to check and see if this went all the way through, because this was, like I said, it's watercolor paper. So it can be a little thicker, and it was setting into my die cut there. So I've got a little piece to trim. It's not worth trying to put it back through there. I'll just grab a piece of scissors. That's not a word. Let's grab a pair of scissors, and I can snip that little piece right there. Okay. All right. Now, what that's going to look like is that will have a perfect fit, just like that. And we have a nice little border on the front of our card. Okay. So that's piece one. Now we're going to do the back piece, because again, when we put in our acetate, we're going to be gluing it onto this area here, but we don't want to be able to see that because it's acetate. You'll be able to see where you put your adhesive, all of that. That's not going to be particularly attractive. Who wants to look at that? So I'm going to be grabbing another piece of paper. So this is just white cardstock. This is going to sit on the back as the backing on my card. What this helps to do is it also helps because we've cut out quite a significant area of the card front and back. So it's not flimsy. This is pretty heavy duty cardstock. It's 110 pounds, but still it will add some really nice depth and what's the word that I'm looking for? Hold and stability. That's the word. I'm looking for the word stability. Okay, so I'm essentially going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure out, well, not necessarily measure it. I'm going to eyeball it because we all know how I am. I eyeball things. Okay, and I'm going to stick my tape on here right about where I would like. So I've got a bit of a border, and I want to make sure that that is going to fit nicely and stay in place. Okay, then I'm going to turn this over, and same thing. I'm going to pop my die right back into place so that it cuts all the way through, because that's what I need, is I need it to cut and have a hole all the way through, right? Okay, and should clean my tray. Get a bit of a curve on that. All right, so we're going to do that, and we're sending right back into die cut machine. There. Peel off the tape. I hold on to this tape for as long as I can. Well, not as long as I can. I don't want to just, use it, but I don't like to waste it. So I will use it as many times as I can. Okay, this is done. We can pop that out. So again, we've got some really nice dimension if I choose to use those areas that I popped out, which I will. Just don't need to waste not, want not, right? Okay, so on this edge, so you can see here, this is where the die cut out. So it cut into the paper and everything, where it has that really lovely rounded edge and everything. The back part of the cardstock doesn't have that. but I'm not going to worry about that too much. I really am just putting it on the back of the card. I don't need this to be too fancy. I'm just putting it on the back of here so that I don't see all of my adhesive from when I put in my, when I go in to put the acetate on. Okay, so now comes the next part. Now we're going to be gluing in some acetate. So for the back, I ended up, I don't know how I managed to do this, but I cut my acetate pretty funny. But I do have a piece that's here that's going to fit just, but I can curve it. No, I can't curve it. I'm going to have it fit right like that. So I'm going to come along with my adhesive. So I'm going to use liquid adhesive on this. You can use Soufflang or something like that if you want. But I'm just going to outline this with liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to get really close to the edge. Getting all these funny little points. Oops. A little too close there. There we go. All right. And pick up my acetate and I'm going to put that on, getting it into position so that it is covering the hole. Okay. So it does get a little close here at the top and the bottom in that one spot, and that's fine. Because I do have, like I said, I have another piece of paper that's going to cover this in exactly that position, right? It's going to go exactly right there. So I'm going to put this one on now. So I'm going to catch the four, like right around the edges here, because that's where I need it to have adhesive. And then I'm also going to outline it because I want it to stick really close. I don't want any of these little fine points popping up off of the adhesive or catching on anything, or sorry, off of the acetate. That would ruin the mystery. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to stick this down, catching it into position with where the cutout is. The nice thing about liquid adhesive is I can fudge it just a little bit if I need to. Into position. There we go. Okay. So the back, you can see, is done. So I'm just going to smooth that out. I do have a little bit of seepage there. That's okay. Yeah, a little bit of seepage here on the front. Well, I guess technically that's not the front. The back of the front, whatever. I'm just going to take my little pokey tool here and I'm just going to catch that little bit and try and pick it up before it dries. I really want to be able to see that. You can also, I had to use on the other one there, an adhesive eraser. Worked like a darn. Worked like a charm. Okay, here we go. The finger in there. Looks good. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's great. All right, so now let's put in the acetate on the front. So you can see here I had a little bit of a indentation. There's a little bit of stickiness here from my mint tape, but that's okay because this is all going to be covered. Well, most of it. There's going to be a 1/4 of an inch kind of gap around it. So for both the back and the front piece, so my card, as I said, it's a standard A2, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and I cut the front panel and the back panel. I should probably have done that on here. I cut the front and the back panel to a 1/4 of an inch under that, so 4 inches by 5 1/4, basically. I want to get right to the edge here because this is watercolor paper, so it's a little thicker. I want to make sure that I'm getting those edges so that my paper stays down and it doesn't lift. Okay. And again, we're gonna pop that down. No, we're not. Something I was thinking. Whoever was saying, "Oh, Craig, you haven't put your acetate on there." Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna put the acetate down just like that. massage it into place, and my adhesive is still wet enough. Maybe I'll put a little bit more on there. Isn't that long, but do you want a good bead? Because again, I don't want this to lift. Very important to not lift. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to line it up with the hole. Like that. And again, with liquid adhesive, the nice thing is you can you have a minute, well, not a minute, it's actually a little faster than that, but you do have a few seconds to kind of just shimmy it or give it into place if you need to. Then I'm going to come from the back here, give it a paste, give it a squish, give it a squish. Okay. All right. Okay, well, there's the base of our card, right? So we've got the beautiful front. So I did this beautiful color with the micas. I just love the Distress Oxide micas or Distress mica sprays. That's, I think, what they are. Okay. The previous one, this one that I had done, I used a piece of alcohol ink. So some UFO that I had been playing with. All right, so we've got the front, we've got the back. You can see that this is nicely sandwiched in between, so it looks good. It's got a nice finished edge. It's not, doesn't need to be perfect, but it is nice. So you don't see the acetate, you don't see the glue from the acetate, all of that kind of stuff, right? Okay, same thing here. So we've got this all done. All right, now to decide on which one. So I cut out 4 of these. Well, actually, technically I cut out 5 because I think what I want to do, so there's these options. So I can do this really nice, fun, iridescent or shimmer. No, it's not a shimmer, it's iridescent in the I Think I'll Keep You. So I can do that one, or I can do the I Think I'll Keep You. But I think because this goes so see-through, I think I like the red. So I think what I want to do is, it's kind of funny, I keep saying I think, because I think I've got this on my head. I think I'm going to use this really shiny red. So this is Nouveau Tonic Studios cardstock. They have this beautiful iridescent card. You can get like glossy black. This is I think it's called Red Brain. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's really beautiful. So any color, any color that coordinates. You could just use plain cardstock too, which is what I'm going to do on the inside. But so now I'm just going to add adhesive to my die. And again, I'm using liquid adhesive because it's very difficult to, well, number one, to find something that's going to stick down, to acetate that will stick, but also something that is small enough to get onto the back of this. I mean, there's a pretty decent amount of surface area on this die. So I'm just going to take as you can see where it's curling up there. So I'm going to take a block and I'm going to push that down a little bit so that it can actually adhere to my acetate. So I'm just going to hold that down for a minute, let the glue start to stick in. And I have to find the hearts. I have them here someplace. Is that one? I wonder if I ended up catching them on my sweater and I just shifted them off of the, oh yeah. Well, there's one. There should be some red ones here. There's one. There's another red shiny one, so that's good. Okay, I'm missing one of the red hearts. Must have fallen on the floor. Nah, there's one. Okay, we'll use that. Good. All right. Now, there we go. Okay, so that has adhered. Just keep kind of pushing it into place there. I want the glue to activate. I'm also going to use see if we can get this up here. Some adhesive on the back of my heart here. And go there like that. Okay, now the trick is I've cut another one out Okay, but I've done this in plain cardstock because we have to put it on there backwards, right? Or upside down, mirror imaged, I guess, is technically what you would say, right? Because it needs to cover this, because that doesn't look nice. I mean, it's not too bad with the white, but you can see where all of the adhesive is. So I don't want anybody to see that. That kind of destroys the whole image, right? So this needs to fit there and cover that. All right, so that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to put adhesive on the front of this die. Hold it like that. I hope this is making sense. If it's not, please, put something in the comments there. You're welcome to ask any questions. If you want to check out some more styles of this, I do recommend checking out Jennifer McGuire, Queen of Card Making. Okay, so now what I want to do is I can line this up to what is already here. Just the same as I did with my, with the, I don't want to call that a hole, shadow, with a shadow, that's the word for it. I knew there was another word for it. Okay, keep that in place there. And I'm just gonna, as I'm going around here and kind of waiting for some of that, I'm just gonna sop up a few of the areas where I've had a little bit of seepage. I got a little carried away with my adhesive. It's not the end of the world. I can come in here with my adhesive eraser and it will take a lot of that off. Maybe not all of it, but that's okay. Most people who are not card makers will not notice that. They'll be like, ooh, that's an impressive technique. And they're right, it is a pretty impressive technique. Love to say it was mine, but it's not. Yeah. Pull that out. So it's really important too that you're using adhesive for this particular technique. It's very important that you're using adhesive that dries clear. Okay. Because also as it dries, you're not going to see it as much because it dries clear, same as the acetate. So now I want to add, I'm going to have to add the heart here. And again, I'm just going to line that up. I hope I'm not getting my head in this shot here too much. Hold that there for a second. My adhesive grab. Okay. Now, here's the tricky, not quite tricky, but you want to remember the easiest way. So if I were to try and put my sentiment back in here, how do I know from here that that's going to line up? I don't. So the easiest way for me to do this is to close the card like this and line up the one for the back. Put it on, match it up like this, and then I'll be able to open it and match this one. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put, again, adhesive is going to go on the front of this die cut. This is just my plain cardstock that I cut because I have to do the reverse or the mirrored image of this one, right? I'm getting a little too carried away with my adhesive again here. Oop. Okay. There we go. Adhesive is down, so I'm going to put the card down like this, hold it together, and I'm going to start to line it up. Just kind of shift it into place there. In the eye. There we go. Paradise. Okay, so you can see everything's matching all the way through. Yay! Love it when it comes together. Isn't that an 18 volt or something like that? Okay. So how many of you are doing or coming along with the crafting, organizing your crafting rooms? Talk to a friend tonight. And yeah, a lot of people are kind of coming along and joining in the challenge. A lot of people are swearing at me. because it's a lot of work. It's no joke. I don't know about you guys, but oh my goodness, I have so much stuff. It's not, it's probably not healthy how much stuff I have. But on the other hand, keeps me out of trouble in a lot of other ways. Okay, so here's the front so far. And you can see all the way through to the back. I'm going to open this up. So that doesn't look nice. That's okay. We're going to fix that. So now I'm going to take my die, the pretty one. So this is, again, because it's going to be on the inside of the card, I'm going to use the iridescent. Add some adhesive to the back of it. All right. And get up over top of that and shift it into place. I'm going to hold that down for just a second because I don't want it shifting. Once I've got it into place, I don't want it shifting too badly. Awesome. And last little part here. Kind of pick that up at an odd angle with my tweezers. So we'll just turn the card here. I got a few spots of adhesive on my iridescent one as well. Just pick that off. There it is. Oh my goodness. That's so cute. So look at that. So now if I wanted, I could do some red jewels on the outside of this. This is pretty sparkly already. And I think that this could be, I don't know this. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do, but one of these is going to be my Valentine's Day card for my husband. So I don't think I'll add too many jewels. I want to keep it simple. If I decide to give it to somebody else as a friend or something like that, I'll just, I can add some gold jewels because there's gold in the mica on here. But how cool is that? So that's one layer. Open it up. You got the lovely inside. And then, ta-da! How cool. Yeah, love it. And the cool thing is I still have these left. So let's find a card base that will go nicely with that. Wow, look at the odds. Is that an orange or is that a red? Nope, a red. So what do you think? That could look really quite nice on there, hey? I kind of like that. What else have I got? This whole red. I don't have any orange. Orange would be really nice though too. Or how about black prepped? Black would be cool too. Just going on with this gray one. Ooh. I don't know what I did with that, but I really need to trim that down. Want that gray one. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Oh, there is black there. Okay, let's do that. Nice. And then the red. There we go. Yes, much better. Put the red to the side. But look at how nice that's going to pop up there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue these together and I'm going to add some dimension here. So I'm actually going to do this one underneath because it's got the edge on it. And this one has a nice edge on it too. So remember when you're card making, one of the really nice things to do is to have added dimension. So, and it's really nice when you can cut your die cuts like this instead of trying to use dimensionals or foam tape or something like that, because this will be nice and strong as you try to send it when you send it through the mail. It'll hold up, won't crinkle, those kind of things. So you get the dimension, but it's really a nice solid piece of paper. And that one's got no marks on it, so let's keep that one in front. So when I have time, I don't always take the time to do this, but sometimes if I'm, I don't feel like have no, what does Joe Rice call it? No, Mr. Mojo. So I'm not feeling particularly crafty, or I don't want to start a new project. I've only got a couple of hours. to craft for a night. I don't want to get started on a project and then feel like I can't finish it or whatever. I'll sit and I'll do pull out some paper and do some die cutting. And then by doing that, what I'll do is I'll often cut bases and I'll cut extra of the bases. I'll do black and white, usually is what I will call cut. And then I'll have, sometimes I'll do some metallics, like a nice, well, a glossy black. Sometimes I'll do red, the iridescent silver, the rainbow colors. I'll do those as well. But the bases, like usually the shadow layer, sometimes the top, all depends on how many times I want to run it through my die cutting machine. But I like to have at least 3 layers because that feels and it looks really nice, really steps up your cards. If you're looking for an easy way to add a extra element of professionalism and oomph to your card, is add dimension. And it's really an easy thing to do. And when you do this, okay, let me just add this heart on here still. Okay. Oh, that's going to be another one of those. I picked it up wonky. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add that in here like that. Now you can see, look at how substantial this is. This is really amazing how substantial this feels. Okay, so I'm going to put this on this black cardstock. And all it is I think I'll keep you, which is really nice. So I don't need my tweezers for this part. I can just do this, glue it down. So I want to put this pretty centered on the card. Go up a little bit so it looks like it's straight. Okay, I'm going to put the pin back in my adhesive here. Maybe. There we go. All right. Okay. Now, that is a really nice, simple card, right? Like, but still has some detail, has some depth, has some heft to it, but it's really, really beautiful. Now, what I could do is take some glossy accents or some Nouveau drops or something and just go over the top of this and give it even more dimension to kind of make it like a clear coat. I don't know if this one's open. Let's see. I'll just do the heart for now, but go in. So you obviously won't see what this looks like till it's dry, but give it a little bit of gloss and shine. Brand new bottle of glossy accents. I'm very excited. But when that's done, gives it just that nice little bit of oomph to it, right? I'll probably do all of the letters, but I'm not going to keep you guys here while I try and outline all of that. But look at how cool. So you get, if you're careful with it, when you're pulling the things out of here, you can get a twofer. It doesn't matter what your die cut is. You need to have the shadow, so you'll have a center part that you can cut out. Okay? So this is what we did today. I'm just so tickled. I saw this technique. I thought it was so much fun. It was so beautiful. And I wanted to make it. Like I said, I bought this particular die set for that reason. I really wanted to have something that I could create to do this see-through cards. And I am super happy with the results. So you can see my hands all the way through. That's going to be our card class today. Again, thank you so much to all of the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody else who keeps coming back. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. It makes me so happy to see a comment or see a new subscriber when I get them in my emails. I just love it. And yeah, if you have any questions, please do pop them down into the comments section. I would be happy to answer them. Yeah, keep it friendly. And I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. This will be coming out just before Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. And I will see you soon. Take care.